The SoundPeats H2 are kinda cheap. They look cheap, they feel cheap, they got no noise cancelling. Heck, they don't even pause when you take them out of your ear. Then why bother with this video? One reason. Two reasons actually. Goedendag, we're DHRME, Dutch homies reviewing musical equipment. As we said up front, the looks. These look, well, uninspiring. The buds themselves are a shiny AirPods clone, and the case design isn't the most inspiring with its shiny plastic. The hinge is kind of floppy, and tapping the case isn't particularly confidence boosting. These are not a statement piece unless the statement you're making is one that you love cheap plastic and AirPod clones. Also, with no noise cancelling or any other features to speak of, no wireless charging, even though for some reason it's mentioned on the site, not even an app. These are not for the feature lovers amongst us. I know we've kept you waiting long enough. The answer is simple. Rowan, tell them.
Yes, these buds have USB Type-C charging. Alright, just kidding. You know there's a reason everyone copies the AirPods Pro design. They're comfortable, secure, and fit well in your ear. The H2 does exactly that. A bonus, they save all the research costs that Apple probably poured into the AirPods design and try to pass the savings on to you. Now, if that ain't Robin Hood, I don't know what is. But that isn't the reason we said these buds are worth considering. It's that these buds sound fantastic. They have a dual driver setup with a Knowles balanced armature and a 8.6mm dynamic driver that really deliver the goods in sound. One thing that isn't great about the sound is that these aren't the loudest buds. We could easily go up to about 80% on Android, which is not normal for me. I usually go to 60% on most buds, and even then there are folks complaining in the comments section that those buds aren't loud enough. So if you like it loud or just need it loud due to hearing issues, then you might give these a pass. But due to using Qualcomm's QCC3040 chip, these are able to use the aptX adaptive codecs, which is one of the best codecs out there right now. But the sound on AAC, on iOS and macOS was just as impressive to my ears. These sound better at slightly louder volume, and it feels like the dual driver opens up a little bit after around 70% on an Android phone, and about the same for iOS. Interestingly, macOS was a bit louder than the two mobile operating systems. As this frequency response chart shows, there's a clear emphasis on the lower end bass and sub bass, but that doesn't mean any of the other frequencies are particularly compromised. The bass is present but isn't as boomy as the Edifier NeoBuds Pro, even though purists will certainly scoff at their overbearing nature. The extension is decent, but the lowest of low notes sound less thumpy than the Edifier NeoBuds Pro. In fact, the sound is very near the Galaxy Buds Pro sound, which I love. Rage Against the Machine's Killing in the Name was one of the first songs I tested, and the guitar sounded gritty and beautifully distorted. All instruments get a very nice representation, but the bass does outshine the other frequencies. The mids also sound nice despite the bass boost. Vocals are front and center and don't sound weird or processed. That Knowles balanced armature is no slouch and does a great job of separating the treble and really making it sing. But despite that, the treble sounds very clean and doesn't tend to overdo it, unlike the SoundCore Liberty 3 Pros do right out of the box. There are some slight annoying peaks towards the higher end of the high frequencies that very seldom appear, as the chart shows, but they weren't really enough to cause too much trouble. Trouble in the treble. That should be my next album name. The soundstage isn't very wide, but the imaging seems to be quite precise. In Jacob Collier's Hideaway, the soundstage sounds quite small and limited as opposed to the spacious presentation on some other earbuds. Timbres are great overall, but kinda suffer from the exaggerated bass presentation in some cases. But if you weren't clear so far, these buds sound lovely, very pleasing if you can deal with that extra bass. So those two reasons, the Knowles armature driver and the dynamic driver, are the main reasons to get these earphones. Yes, this is one reason, sound.
Rounding off the other aspects of these buds, there's unfortunately no app to change up the EQ on these buds, so you will have to stick to the stock sound or get an EQ app on every device you use. Speaking of devices, these don't connect to multiple devices simultaneously, and Force Connect doesn't work from a previously paired device either. You have to disconnect from the first one to connect to the second. We also faced a weird issue where the buds would keep prioritizing the iPhone instead of the Android we have, even when the last connected device was the Android phone. I guess the AirPods imposter syndrome is strong on these buds. The controls on the side are reminiscent of the AirPods first and second generation. Not very responsive, but do have some fairly extensive controls for media playback and calls. There's also a low latency gaming mode that comes as part of the QCC3040 Qualcomm chip. These are IPX5 rated for sweat and splash resistance, so using them in the gym is okay. And they're comfortable and fairly secure as AirPods clones tend to be, and the battery life out of the buds is a below average 5 hours, considering these don't feature any noise cancellation and aren't the loudest buds out there. Either bud can be used for listening to music and calling.
Hey, did someone say calling?
Yes, I said calling. Did you say calling in quiet conditions? No, I said calling in noisy conditions. Did you say calling in noisy conditions? No, I said calling in windy conditions. Hey, what did the popsicle say to the icicle? It said test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3.
So that's it. These are very basic buds, but they excel at exactly one thing: the sound. However, at the price they're listed at, $80 pre-discount and $120 after that, unless you really want just a comfortable pair of buds that sound good, there are many other choices out there that give you noise cancelling apps and the goods. To be honest, we love the sound, but really don't understand why anyone would buy these buds. The Galaxy Buds Pro, for example, are about 109 euros, are freely available, have excellent noise cancelling and transparency, better waterproofing, a smaller case, wireless charging, and a decent customer support network. And they sound about the same, minus the extra punchy bass. The SoundPeats H2 are more comfortable than the Buds Pro, don't have as many touch control issues, but even then, it's a really tough sell at $120. For $80 though, they sound great. Excellent even. Whether that's enough though, that's up to you. We've linked all products that we talked about in the description down below. Here's a small request. It is the holidays, so support our hard work by using the links below to shop without any additional cost to you. You can also buy random stuff when you use that link. Go ahead, it's the holidays. You know you want that $100,000 diamond ring, or the SoundPeats H2, or the Galaxy Buds Pro, whatever you choose. You've been lightening your wallet, and we've been DHRME. Namaste.